I haven't made a video in such a long time. Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the pros and cons of marrying internationally. This channel is all about finding your other half in Morocco. Finding somebody that you love in a different country can come with many perks, but it can come with many cons. And so today we're going to dive into that and talk about some of the cons and some of the perks. And of course, if I forget something, don't forget to remind me. Getting married internationally exposes you to so much culture, food, art, and even a new genetic pool. And it also exposes you to new languages because, after all, you need to speak to the father of the lady and you'll need to do it in his tongue. And you also learn much more concepts and customs that could potentially make you a better person. You get a global perspective. When you learn a new language, you learn new concepts. And these can be concepts that don't exactly exist in your native tongue. And so it just works as a new update to the software that is your brain. And your understanding of the world becomes even bigger and more expanded. And you're no longer bound to the way of thinking of your tribe. Well, somewhat, but you do expand on it. Diverse cuisine. They say that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. But this fact is also true for women. Women love chocolates, they love new food, they love sweets. Some like sour, some like spicy. And the best date you could take a girl to is a lunch date or a dinner date. And of course, food. However, never go somewhere new because you never know what you're allergic to. Dual celebrations, especially religious holidays. You're used to sitting under a Christmas tree, and before you know it, you're opening a goat's throat. And then you have to eat it. But that's the beauty of it. As a man in Morocco, you will discover so many more aspects to masculinity that you never knew you had in you. And of course, the celebrations always have some historical context, which is again going to make you much smarter and even richer intellectually because you're going to have to find out the history behind it and why it's so widely practiced. And you will leave that country a new man. A bilingual household. Morocco has many languages and accents within its borders. And every kid in Morocco is almost born speaking two languages. Personally, I speak Arabic and Tamazight because my parents spoke both of the languages to me. So if you raise your child as a foreign person in Morocco, your kid could have the potential to grow up speaking three languages. And even more, you never know. Name me a better flex. Networking opportunities. One thing as a foreign person you'll bring to Morocco is a foreign better currency in most cases. And of course, you will not think about marrying outside the country if you're not already doing financially well. And at some point, you will need or would want an income within Morocco. In a new country is a whole new opportunity and even a wider pool for new networking opportunity. Rich family heritage. Some of the best stories you can tell your children about their grandparents is of their grandparents from the other side of the world, which is a chance for your kids to, learn geography better and history better and so much folklore from people who live it every day. And lastly, an adventurous lifestyle. It's all about the lifestyle. Where should we spend the holiday? Your country or mine? Which part of the country do you want to see this year? Which part of the country do you want to see this time of year? I wonder what it has in store for us. It's something that you can have without marrying, to be honest. However, you will be walking with your personal interpreter everywhere you go. So that's nice. Let's talk about the cons. Visa and immigration challenge. It takes from 6 months to a year for the visa process to be done. And during that period, you'll have to, do the impossible to stay in touch. You can't drift away. And also, not cheat. And to also make sure your feelings do not fade with time. And as well as your partner working at a different time zone, it can be quite daunting. Long distance struggle. You know what they say about long distance relationships? They only work when the four of you are happy. That's not funny. kind of is. And in situations when she's going to school, he's going to work, time zones are different, and there's no time to talk because he gets out of work when she goes to sleep. And so it can be very, very hard to maintain a long distance relationship without having a lack of sleep, that is. And also, there's always suspicions of cheating, and problems can come out of any tiny situation very, very fast. Family approval. Moroccan parents will find flaws in you never knew you had. And legally speaking, without their signature, you can't get married. So it's not like you can elope. And you have to do your best to be proper and polite. That's affectionate without offending or touching their daughter in front of. Good luck. Communication barriers. Finding somebody from a different country that speaks your language is not easy. Finding somebody that speaks your language fluently is even harder. And attempting to bond with her family or his family is going to be even much more challenging. So, in every family event, you're just going to be standing in the corner, giving everyone this type of smile. But not able to say anything. Legal complications. I don't even think I need to explain this because every time on this channel I stress how long it takes and how much work is in it. A lot of work, okay? A lot of work. Let's just keep it at that. Career sacrifice. Deciding where to live with your partner is a very hard thing to decide on. And if you're working in your country and she's working in her country, well, one of you would eventually have to give up their careers. Financial considerations. When you're used to women making their own money, going to marry in a country where you're the sole provider is quite tough. And while you're coming and leaving so you can meet and see the one at least once a year, that's expensive. And you're going to need to be gone from work for a while each year. And we all know that bosses don't like giving breaks. So it's better to find love while you're jobless, but love also needs money to be maintained, which means you need to work, which is very complicated and it's kind of a catch-22. And while you're busy building a life for both of you in her or your country, she's also going to be financially dependent on you, which can also be tough. You're going to need a miracle. So, yeah, marrying internationally can be financially daunting and difficult. Dual identity challenges. Knowing how to live in a different society can be so difficult, but once you get the hang of it, it can be so easy. But then you're left with the big question: what am I? Who am I? Am I from this country, or am I from my native country? And if I try to be like these people, I'll just look weird, and they'll never fit in. They'll never accept me. But um, at the same time, if I act like myself and where I came from, I'll be shunned even more. And this is even more difficult for the children of these couples who are international because one parent is trying to instill in these children values of a country they don't even live in. And so they're just left with this, legend in their head of the place they come from, but they know nothing about. Cultural misunderstanding and ambiguities. Hey, honey, the neighbors invited us over. I wonder what should we take?
We were supposed to take something to them. They invited us.
Well, yeah, we can't just go empty-handed.
Well, what do you suggest we should take?
I say we take some sugar and milk.
Huh? We're gonna buy them groceries?
Well, yeah, it's a way for them not to have to buy everything they're gonna put on the table and for us to, carry a little of the burden of being guests.
Then why invite us at all if we're just gonna buy them what they're gonna serve us? Can we just eat that at home?
Kind of gets the point of being polite and, going and seeing them and, chatting with them a little bit, but also not being a burden, for them to buy everything they have to put on the table.
I get that, but again, why do I have to buy them milk and sugar out of all things? Like, can we buy them a bottle of wine?
We're Muslim, we don't really drink.
This conversation is getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah, I think so. There you have it. Pros and cons of marrying internationally. Love doesn't have borders. However, it does have a lot of challenges. And so it's very important to know them and to, be at least mentally prepared so you can take them on. And I'll end this video here and see you.